All right. You can scoot down just a little bit. You can scoot down. Shalom. Yahweh Shemir Shabrakatah. Thumb. Yahweh Shemar Alathan. By Hashem Yahweh Shadar, the Akim and Akwathin out there. This is the Baltimore Sabbath Service, January 6, 2024. We're going to go ahead and right into it. We're going to go and read a slaki. We're getting into 2 Kings, verse chapter 8, 4 through 10 in the Hebrew. Then we're going to read in the English. We're in 2 Kings chapter 8, 4 through 10. All right, we're going to read in the Hebrew, then the English. 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 4. Wahamalak Madabar al Gazia Na'ar Ayash Alahayim La Amar. Let's see. Salakia. La Amar Sapara Laya Af Call Haga Dalawaf Ashar Aisha Allah Yashai, verse 5. Verse 5. Wayahaya, Hawa'a, Masapar, Lamalak, Af, Ashar, Hakaya, Af, Hamath, Wahana, Ha'asha, Ashar, Hakaya, Af, Bana, Taza, Iquaf, Al, Amalak, Al, Bayatha, Wa'al, Shada, Wayamar, Gakhazia, Adanya, Hamalak, Za'af, Ha'asha, Wazza, Bana, Ashar, Hachaya, Alayashai, verse 6. Wayasha'al, Hamalak, La Asha, Watha Sapar, Lawa, Wayathan, La Hamalak, Sarayas, Chad, La Amar, Hayashab, Af, Call, Ashar, La, Wa'af, Call, Thaba, Wa'af, Hashada, Mayawam, Aizaba, Af, Ha'arataza, Wa'aid, Aitha, verse 7, Wayaba'a, Alayashai, Dama Shak, Waban, Hadad, Malak, Aram, Khala, Wayagad, Lawa, La Amar, Ba'a, Ayash, Ha'alahayim, Aid, Hana, verse 8, Waya Amar, Hamalak, Ha'ala, Quack, Bayadka, Hanacha, Walak, La Quarath, Ayash, Ha'alahayim, Wadar Rashaf, Av, Yahweh, Ma'awafya, La Amar, Ha'achaya, Makolia, Za, verse 9, Wayalak, Chaza'al, Slakia, Chaza'allah, La Quarathwa, Wayakwak, Manaka, Bayadwa, Wakal, Tawab, Damashak, Masha'a, Araba'ayim, Gamal, Wayaba'a, Waya Aimad, Lapanyawa, Waya Amar, Bunka, Bun, Hadad, Malak, Aram, Shalachanya, Aliyaka, La Amar, Ha'achaya, Makolia, Za, verse 10, Waya Amar, Alaya, Alawaya, Alayashai, Lak, Amar, La'a, Chaya, Fachaya, Waha, Ra'anya, Yahawa, Kaya, Mawaf, Yamawaf, and that's it.
Now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 4 through 10 in the English. And the king talked with Gehazi, the servant of man of the Most High, saying, tell me, I pray thee, all the great things that Elisha hath done. Verse 5, and it came to pass, as he was telling the king how he had restored a dead body to life, that behold, the woman whose son he had restored to life cried to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, my lord, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son, whom Elisha restored to life. Verse 6, and when the king asked the woman, she told him. So the king appointed unto her a certain officer, saying, restore all that was hers, and all the fruits of the field since the day that she left the land, even until now. Verse 7, and Elijah said, and Elijah came to Damascus, and Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, was sick, and it was told him, saying, the man of the Most High is come hither. Verse 8, and the king said unto Hazael, take a present to thine hand, and go meet the man of the Most High, and inquire of the man, and inquire of the Lord by him, saying, shall I recover of this disease? Verse 9, so Hazael went to meet him, and took a present with him, even of every good thing of Damascus, 40 camels burdened, and came and stood before him, and said, thine son Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, have sent me to thee, saying, shall I recover of this disease? Salaki, verse 10. And Elijah said unto him, go, say unto him, thou mayest certainly recover. Howbeit the Most High, howbeit the Most High have showed me that he shall surely die.
All right, we're now going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 8, verses 11 through 17 in the Hebrew.
Did he lie? Verse 10.
When it said, Elijah said unto him, go, say unto him, thou mayest certain recover, howbeit the Lord has shown me that thou shalt surely die. Wait, Elisha lied, you mean?
Yeah, because he told him that he would recover, and then howbeit he said
he will recover from his disease.
Come.
But that's what pretty much he's saying.
Like, saying he recovered from his disease,
but he's going to still die.
Come.
Excellent question. All right, we're reading 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 11. And we're reading 11 through 17. 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 11. Waya Imad, Hanyawa, Waya Sham, Id, Basha, Waya Bak, Ayash, Ha Alahayim, verse 12. Waya Amar, Haza Allah, Madawai, Adanya, Bakab, Waya Amar, Kaya, Yada Aithya, Ashar, the Aisha, Labunya, Yasha'ala, Ra'aiha, Mabatazarium, Yaham, Salakia, the Shalak, Ba'ash, Wabahar Yaham, Bakarab, Thaharag, Wa'ai Lal Yaham, Tharatash, Raha Rath Yaham, Saba Kwai, verse 13. Wayamar Haza Ha'Allah Kaya Mahab Ibadka Makalab Kaya Ya Aisha Hadabar Haga Dawal Haza Wayamar Allah Ya Yashai Hara Anya Yahawa Afka Malak Al Aram, verse 14. We'll read 17. Verse 14. Wayalak Ma'af, Allah Yashai, Wayaba'a, Al Adanyawa, Wayamar, Lawa, Maha, Amar, Laka, Aliyashai, Wayamar, Amar, Laya, Chaya, Fakaya, verse 15. Wayahaya, Mama Charath, Wayakwak, Hama Kabar, Waya Tobal, Bamayam, Waya Parash, Al, Punyawa, Waya Math, Waya Malak, Chaza Allah, Fakha Kathyawa, verse 16. Waba Shanaf, Kamash, Laya Raram, Ban, Acha Ab, Malak, Sha'ala, Waya Hawa Shapat, Malak, Yahawada, Malak, Yaha Waram, Bun, Yaha Washapat, Malak, Yahawada, verse 17, Bun, Shalashyam, Washafyam, Shana, Haya, Bama Malakwa, Washa Mana, Shana, Malak, Bar Yarashalam, and that's it. Okay, well now go ahead, select. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 12. Verse 11 through 17. Verse 11. And he settled his countenance steadfast until he was ashamed. And the man of the Most High wept. Verse 12. And Hazael said, Why weepeth my Lord? And he answered, Because I know the evil that thou wilt do unto the children of Israel. Their strongholds wilt thou set on fire, and their young men wilt thou slay with the sword, and wilt thou slaki, and wilt dash their children, and rip up their women with child. Verse 13. And Hazael said, But what is thine servant a dog, that he should do this great thing? And Elisha answered, The Most High have shewed me that thou shalt be king over Israel. Salaki, over Syria. Verse 14. So he departed from Elijah and came to his master, who said to him, What said Elijah to thee? And he answered, He told me that thou should have surely recovered. Verse 15. And it came to pass on the morrow that he took a thick cloth and dipped it in water and spread it on his face, so that he died. And Hazael reigned in his stead. Verse 16. And in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being the king of Judah, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. Verse 17. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem.
All right, we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 8, 18 through 24 in the Hebrew. 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 18. Wayalak, Badarak, Malakia, Yasha'ala, Ka'ashar, Aishawa, Bayah, Aka'ab, Kaya, Ba, Aka'ab, Haya, Tha, Lawa, La Asha, Waya Aisha, Harai, Ba'ai, Yanya, Yahweh, verse 19. Wala Abba, Yahweh, La Ashakayath, Yahawada, Lama Ain, Dawada, Ibadwa, Kashar, Amar, Lawa, Lafath, Lawa, Nayar, Labanyawa, call, Hayamyam, verse 20. Bayamyawa, Pashai, Adawam, Athakath, Yad, Yahawada, Waya Malakwa, Al-Yaham, Malak, verse 21. Waya Ibar, Yawarum, Taza I Yarab, Wakal, Harakab, Imwa, Wayahaya, Hawa'a Kwam, Layala, Wayaka, Af, Adawam, Hasat, Hasabiyab, let's see, Aliyawa, Wa'af, Sharia, Harakab, Waya Nas, Ha'ain, Halayawa, verse 22, Waya Hashai, Adawam, Matha Kaf, Yad, Yahawada, I, Hayawam, Hazah, Az, Hashai, Labana, Ba'aith, Hahayawa, verse 23, Wayathar, Debaria, Yawaram, Wakal, Ashar, Aisha, Halawa'a, Hum, Katha Wabyam, Al, Sapar, Debaria, Yum, Lamakolia, Yahawada, verse 24, Wayashakab, Yawaram, Ain, Salakia, Ain, Abathayawa, Wayakwarab, Ain, Abathayawa, Ba'ayar, Dawada, Waya Malak, Ak, Zayahawa, Bunwa, Thakathyawa. And that's it.
When it in verse 9. Hazel is the king of Syria's son.
This is the one that was anointed in the king's place. I'm not sure if he's the king's son. I know he's anointed in the king's place.
Come on.
This is Elijah was told actually I think Elijah was the one that anointed him and Elisha at the same time. Way back when.
And he became the king of
Syria. He became the king.
He was an Israelite?
I'm not sure. That I wouldn't know
about that. He probably was, but
I wouldn't. I'm not sure about that one. I have to look. I'll have to ask Cap about that one. But I know Elisha went and anointed him and Elisha in there before he departed.
And Elijah anointed Hazel
and Elisha.
And Elisha
before he departed. He anointed both of them because he's I can't remember, it's a few chapters back. I'll have to find and show it to you.
And Hazel became the king of Syria.
Became the king of Syria.
And Elijah prophesied to him that he would kill he
told him he'd be a wicked ruler.
Come.
He pretty much prophesied, said what type of ruler he would become.
Okay, so we had Israelites inside of Syria.
I mean, Israelites were scattered everywhere, but I don't know if Hazael was an Israelite or not. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I know they were, scattered throughout, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't know the answer to that. I have to ask Kat.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'll ask Kat.
Come. Now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 18 through 24. Verse 18. And he walked in the way of the king of Israel, as did the house of Ahab. For the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Most High. Okay. Verse 19. Yet the Most High would not destroy Judah for David his servant's sake, as he promised him to give him always a light and to his children. Verse 20. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. Verse 21. So Joram went over to Zaire and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents. Verse 22. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Lebanon revolted at the same time. Verse 23. And the rest of the acts of Joram and all that he did are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of Kings of Judah? Verse 24. And Joram slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Ahazah, his son, reigned in his stead.
Excellent. I mean, you can see here there's not too many righteous kings that were in Israel or in Judah. It seems like there was a lot of unrighteousness because they all fall in the ways of Jehoshaphat. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to be reading 2 Kings 8, 25 through 29. Then we're going to jump over to 2 Kings 9, 1 through 2. 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 25. Bashanath, Shaphyum, Asherah, Shana, Laya, Raram, Bun, Aka'ah, Malak, Yasha'ala, Malak, Akazaya, Wa, Bun, Yahawah, Ram, Malak, Yahawada, verse 26. Bun, Asharium, Washathium, Shana, Akzaya, Hawa, Bamalakwa, Washana, Akaf, Malak, Bar Yarashalam, Washam, Amawa, I thought Athalia Hawa, Bath, Amaria, Malak, Yasha'ala, verse 27, Wayalak, Barak, Bayath, Aka'ab, Wayaisha, Harai, Ba'ayanyawa, Yahawam, Kabayath, Aka'ab, Kaya, Kathan, Bayath, Aka'ab, Hawa'ah, verse 28, Wayalak, Af, Yawaram, Bun, Aka'ab, Lama, Lakama, Ain, Hazah, Malak, Aram, Baramath, Gilead, Wayahwa, Aramyam, Af, Yawaram, 20, verse 29, Wayashab, Yarawam, Hamalak, Laha Tharapah, Baya Zarai Allah, Man, Hamakium, Ashar, Yakaha, Yahuwah, Aramyam, Baramah, Bahamalakamwa, Hazah Allah, Malak, Aram, Kazaya Hawa, Ban, Waram, Malak, Yahawada, Yarad, Lara Awaf, Af, Yararam, Ban, Aka'ab, Baya Zarai Allah, Kaya, Kala, Hawa'ah. 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 1. Waya Allah Yashai, Hanabaya Korah, La'akad, Mabanya, Hana Yam, Wayamar, Lawa, Hagar, Matha Nayaka, Wakwak, Pa, Hashaman, Hazah, Bayadka, Walak, Ramath, Galaid, verse 2. Waba'af, Shema, Wara'aha, Sham, Yahwa'ah, Ban, Waha Washapat, Ban, Namashia, Waba'af, Wahakwa Mathwa, Mathawak, Akiwa, Waha Baya'af, Afwa, Hadar, Bahadar, and that's it.
Now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 25 through 29. And then we're going to go to 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 1 through 2. Verse 25. In the 12th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, did Isaiah Ahazah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, began to reign. Verse 26. 22 years old was Ahaziah.
Ahaziah.
What? Ahaziah. He began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri, king of Israel. Verse 27. And he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Most High, as did the house of Ahab, for he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. Verse 28. And he went with Joram, the son of Ahab, to war against Hazael, king of Syria, and Ramoth Gilgad. And the Syrians wounded Joram. Verse 29. The king of Joram went back to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him at Ramah when he fought against Hazael, king of Syria. And say one more time. Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Joram, the son of Ahab, in Jezreel, because he was sick. Verse 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 1. And Elijah, the prophet, called one of the children of the prophets, and said unto him, Gird up thine loins, and take this box of oil in thine hand, and go to Ramoth Gilgad. Verse 2. And when thou comest hither, look out there Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshah, and go in and make him a rise up from among his brethren, and carry him to an inner chamber. That's a word.
All right, now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 9, 3 through 9 in the Hebrew. 2 Kings chapter 9, 3 through 9. Wala Kwakath, Pa, Hashaman, Waya Tazakwath, Al, Ra'ashwa, Ramath, Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Mashakathiyaka, Lamalak, Al, Yasha'ala, Pathakath, Hadalath, Nada, Wana Satha, Wala, Thakath, like it. Verse 4, Wayalak, Hana'ar, Hanabaya'ah, Ramath, Gala'id. Verse 5, we'll go to verse 9. Verse 5, Wayaba'ah, Wahana, Sharia, Hakayal, Yashabyam, Wayamar, Dabar, Laya, Alyaka, Hashar, Wayamar, Haya, Wa'ah, Al, Mayab, Wa Malak Nawa, Wayamar, Alyaka, Hashar. Verse 6, Wayaquam, Wayaba'ah, Habay Yafta, Wayatazakwak, Wayatazak, Salakia, Hashaman, Al, Ra'ashwa, Wayamar, Lawa, Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Aliyah, Yasha'ala, Mashakathiyaka, Lamalak, Al, Ain, Yahweh, Al, Yasha'ala. Verse 7, Wahakayata, Ah, Rayath, Aka'ab, Adanyaka, Wanaquamathia, Dumya, Ibadia, Hana Ya'ayam, Wadumya, Call, Ibadia, Yahweh, Mayad, Ayazaba'allah. Verse 8, wa bad call bayath akaab waha karathia la kaab mashathian bakwayar wa I tazawar wa I zawab bayasha'ala. Verse 9, Wana Thafia, Ath, Mayath, Akaab, Kabayath, Waya Ba'aim, Yara Ba'aim, Ban, Nabat, Wakayath, so like it, Wakabayath, Ba'aisha Ban, Akaya, verse 10, Wa'ath, Aya Zabal, Ya'akowa, Hakalabium, Bakalak, Zara Yazarai Allah, Wa Ayan, Kwabar, Waya Pathak, Hadalath, Waya Nas, and that's it. Oh, I think I went one over, but that's okay.
Now we're going to reread in 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 3 through 9. Verse 3. Then take the box of oil and pour it on his head and say, Thus saith the Most High, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then open the door and flee and tarry not. Verse 4. So the young man, even the young man, the prophet, went to Ramoth Gilgad. Verse 5. And when he came, behold, the captain of the host was sitting, and he said, I have an errand to thee, O captain. And Juha said, Unto which of all us? And he said, To thee, O captain. Verse 6. And he arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head, and said unto him, Thus saith the Most High of Israel, I have anointed thee king over the people of the Most High, even over Israel. Verse 7. And thou shalt smite the house of Ahab, thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servant the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of the Most High, at the hand of Jezebel. Verse 8. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish, and I will cut off from Ahab him that hisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. Verse 9. And I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah.
All right, we're going to be now reading 2 Kings chapter 9. We're reading 10 through 16 in the Hebrew. 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 10. Wa'ath, Aya Zabal, Kolwa, Hakalabium, Bakalak, Yazarai Allah, Wayan Korab, Waya Pathak, Hadalath, Waya Nas, verse 11. Waya Hawa'a, Yataza'a, all, Ibadia, Adanyawa, Waya Amar, Lawa, Hashalom. Verse, Slaki. Madawai, Ba'am, Hama Shagai, Hazah, Alyaka, Waya Amar, Allah Yaham, Atham, Yada Itham, Af, Ha'ayash, Wa'af, Shayahwa, verse 12, Waya Amarwa, Shakwar, Agad, Na'a, Lanawa, Waya Amar, Kaza'af, Waka Za'af, Amar, Alya, La Amar, Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Masha Kathyaka, La Malak, Al Yasha'ala, verse 13, Waya Maharwa, Waya Kwakwa, Ayash, Bagadwa, Waya Shayamwa, Thakathyawa, Al, Garam, Hama I Lawaf, Waya Thaqaiwa, Basha Wapar, Wayamarwa, Malak, Yahweh, verse 14, Wayathakwashar, Yahweh, Bun, Yahweh Shapat, Bun, Mashia, all, Yawarum, Wayarawum, Hayab, Shamar, Baramath, Gala'aid, Hawa'a, Wakal, Yasha'ala, Mapunya, Haza Allah, Malak, Aram, verse 15, Wayashab, Yahawarum, Hamalak, Laha Tharapa'ah, Bayazarai Allah, Man, Hamakium, Ashar, Yakawa, Aramyam, Bahala Kamwa, Haza Allah, Malak, Aram, Wayamar, Yahawa, Yash, Napashkum, Al, Yataza, Polyat, Man, Ha'ayar, Lakal Lagayad, Baya Zarai Allah. Verse 16. Wayarakab, Yahweh, Wayalak, Zarai Allah, Kaya, Yarawam, Shakab, Shema, Kazaya, Malak, Yahawada, Yarad, Lara Awaf, Yarawam, and that's it.
Now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 10 through 16. Verse 10. And the dog shall eat Jezebel, and the portion of Jezreel, and there shall be none to bury her. And he opened the door and fled. Verse 11. And Jehu came forth to the servants of the Most High. And one said unto him, and Jehu came forth to the servants of his Lord. And one said unto him, Is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow to thee? And he said unto them, Ye know the man and his communication? Verse 12. And they said, It is false. Tell us now. And he said, Thus and thus spake he to me, saying, Thus saith the Most High, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Verse 13. And then they had Salaki. Verse 13. Then they hasted and took every man his garment and put it under him on the top of the stairs, and blew with trumpets, saying, Jehu is king. Verse 14. And Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshah, conspired against Joram. Now Joram had kept Ramoth Gilgad and all Israel because of Hazael's king of Syria. Verse 15. But King Joram was returned to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him when he fought with Hazael king of Syria. And Jehu said, If it be your minds, then let none go forth nor escape out the city to go to tell it to Jezreel. Verse 16. So Jehu rode in a chariot and went to Jezreel, for Joram lay there. And Ahaziah, king of Judah, was come down to see Joram.
All right, this is the last one. We're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 9, 17 through 23 in the Hebrew. 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 17. Waha Tazapah, Imad, all, Hama Gadol, by Zarai Allah, Wayara'ah, Shapat Aith, Yahawa'ah, Babawah, Wayamar, Shapat Aith, Anya, Ra'ah, Wayamar, Yahawarum, Quack, Rakab, Rashalak, Laquara Athum, Wayamar, Hashalom. Verse 18, Wayalak, Rakab, Hasawas, Laquara Athwa, Wayamar, Ka, Amar, Hamalak, Hashalom, Waya Amar, Yahawa'ah, Ma, Laka, Washalom, Sab, Al, Akaria, Waya God, Hatazapa, La Amar, Ba'a, Hamala'ak, Ain, Ham, Wala'ah, Shab. Verse 19. Wayashalak, Rakab, Sawa, Shanya, Wayaba'a, Alaham, Wayamar, Kaha, Amar, Hamalak, Shalom, Wayamar, Yahawa'ah, Maha, Slakin, Ma, Lak, Lakab, Wayashalom, Sab, All, Akaria, verse 20. Wayagad, Hatazapa, La Amar, Ba'a, I, Aliyahum, Wala'ah, Shab, Wahamana Gathag, Kamanahag, Yahawa'ah, Bun, Namashia, Kaya, Bashagaiwan, Yanahag. Verse 21, Wayamar, Yaharawam, Asar, it's like Asar, Waya Asar, Rakabwa, Waya Taza'a, Yaharawam, Malak, Yasha'ala, Wa'akaza Yahawa, Malak, Yahawada, Ayash, Barakabwa, Waya Taza'awa, Lara Korath, Waya Hawa'a, Wayama Taza Bakal Laquath, Nabawath, Haya Zarai Aliyah. Verse 22. Wayahaya, Kara Awath, Yaharawam, Ah, Yahawa'ah, Wayamar, Hashalom, Yahawa'ah, Wayamar, Ma, Hashalom, I, Wanya, Waya Zabal, Ainka, Salaki, Waya Zaba'Allah, Salaki. I'm Amaka, Waka Shatya, Waka Rabiam, verse 23. Waya Hapa, Yaha Warum, Yadyawa, Waya Nas, Waya Mar Al, Aka Zayahawa, Marama, Aka Zaya, and that's it.
Now we're going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 17 through 23 in the English. Verse 17. And there stood a watchman on the tower of Jezreel, and he spied the company of Jehu as he came, and said, I see a company. And Joram said, take a horseman and send to me them, and let them say, is it peace? Verse 18. So there went one on horseback to meet him, and said, thus saith the king, is it peace? And Jehu said, what hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. And the watchman told, saying, the messenger came to them, but he cometh not again. Verse 19. Then he sent out a second on horseback, which came to them and said, thus saith the king, is it peace? And Jehu answered, what hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. Verse 20. And the watchman told, saying, he came even unto them, and cometh not again. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu, the son of Nimshi, for he driveth fiercely. Verse 21. And Joram said, make ready. And his chariots was made ready. And Joram, king of Israel, and hold on. No. You gotta say it for me.
Ahaziah.
Ahaziah, king of Judah, went out, each in his chariot, and they went out against Jehu and met him in the portion of Naboth, the Jezreelite. Jezreelite. Verse 22. And it came to pass, when Joram saw Jehu, that he said, "Is it peace, Jehu?" And he answered, "What peace, so long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and her witchcraft are so many." Verse 23. And Joram turned his hands and fled and said to Azariah,
Mhm.
"There is treachery, O Azariah."
Ahaziah.
Ahaziah.
Excellent.
Swat, we still got a little bit of time, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Because we supposed to be done by 11:30.
Come.
All right. Imani, just people up here. La Yashal.
La Yashal.
We're just gonna do the one prayer. The Lord's prayer.
Come.
What to call it, Amadi.
Amadium, Wapen Yah Hakwadam, which means rise and face the east. We're gonna be reading the Lord's Prayer first in the Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadad, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Wafka, Taba'ah, Ratazayah, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Latan Lanau, Lakam, Ko, Yawam, Wasalak now, Kabawak now, Kasalak now, Kabawak ya now, Wala'ah, Dabaya I now, Banasayawam, Abal, Hawashanayawa, Kanam, Maya, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Waha the Pa'ara, La'awalamya, Aman,
in the English. Our
Father,
which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Psalm which we can turn. We fix that belt.
What, sir?
Let's do the tour real quick. Oh, go ahead and do the horn. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Yahweh Shem Yashab Rakya. Slack it. What you not trying to do? Can't do
Yeah. How about you know Shabbat? Yeah.
Yahweh Shem Yashab Rakya.
Yahweh Shem Yashab Rakya.
This concludes the service.
Men of Israel, we're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yashab Rakatham.
Yadamatat, class dismissed.